What's poppin'? Welcome back to Midwest Talks Basketball, man. Good afternoon. It's Friday. Usually I had these hitting in the morning, but man, this morning, man, it's hard to say. Now, topic at hand, man. Y'all know what's been going on, as far as like with the gambling, the NBA and things like that. The two, I'm gonna say three. Well, the main guy they focusing on, or that's in the headlines right now, is Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. But then, Damon Jones is in that too. You know what I mean? So the thing is this, man, which is crazy. The thing with Chauncey, this is all alleged stuff here. Now it's all alleged, even though, you can go look at the press conference from the FBI. It's a lot of information out there. It's out there. Just go do your research on it. But allegedly, the mob was paying Chauncey Billups to lure in high rollers in these rigged card games. You know what I mean? High stakes card games. Now, I don't know a lick about poker, dog. I ain't never played poker, but I know it's serious business. Okay, poker is serious business. All right, it's no games. I mean, when it comes to high stakes poker, man, it get ugly when it comes to that. And underground betting is big business. Underground gambling is big business, man. It is what it is, man, because gambling is a very bad addiction. That's something that a lot of people don't really like to talk about. It's spoken about as like a flex or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? But really, it's a big problem, you know what I mean? And your life can get turned upside down real fast gambling. Very fast, you know what I mean? In one night, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Now, this the thing, man. The media got it looking like Chauncey Billups is the ringleader in this. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems, you know what I mean? Well, really, these guys is just fall guys. Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, you know what I mean? They to me, what it look like to me is that they're fall guys. The big wigs is not finna get touched. It's gonna be the small guys, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, hey, because I mean, that's just how I go when it comes to crime. I mean, look, I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect or anything like that. And then people listening to this, when you go look at comments, you know what I mean, when it comes to certain things that happen in the news that's illegal. You got everybody holier than thou, high mighty, I will never do that. You don't know what you gonna do. Okay? You don't know what you gonna do. You know what I mean? You don't know what you gonna do if the Italian mob came at you like, hey, I'm gonna pay you this to you know what I mean? Whoop-de-blah and whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know what you gonna do. Especially if you desperate. You have no idea. You know what I mean? So to say what you will and won't do, I mean, it's easy to say that because you wasn't offered it. I mean, that's all I'm saying. But the thing with Chauncey is like, dog, like, what in the F was they paying you for you to do this? I mean, because this the thing. It's one thing if you are not in the NBA doing this and you just, you a person that's, setting this stuff up. But when you an NBA head coach, okay, active head coach, you know what I mean? Like, and you one of the more, I guess you want to say, popular names as a head coach, Chauncey Billups. Everybody knows Chauncey Billups from the Pistons, champion, Hall of Fame point guard, man. But, dog, like, I mean, fam, like, what are you doing? Like, why would you why would you accept something like this? But, like I said before, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. See, this is what they want you to know. You don't know the workings. You don't know nothing. This is like some, you getting light information here, because the fact that he's even associated with notorious crime families is wild. That's wild. You know what I mean? So I don't know his financial situations or if I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I don't know how deep his ties is with the mob, but the fact of the matter is what the FBI said was that Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, they were face cards, they call them, whatever the case, right? So pretty much they were the faces. It's kind of like you use a model to sell your brand or whatever. They the face, the celebrity status or whatever, to reel in the big fish in these underground, poker games. And I think they arrested 30 people across 11 states. Bruh, like that's crazy. That's crazy. So pretty much, and with these underground poker games, they had see-through poker tables. That's crazy. They had rigged shufflers. That's crazy. Card shufflers. That's crazy. That is crazy. You know what I mean? They had some sort of context you could see through. Bruh, see-through glasses, the whole nine, like futuristic cyberpunk type stuff. To break it down in layman's terms, you know what I'm saying? Futuristic stuff, you know what I mean? Like, bro, that's crazy. So these dudes had no chance. They didn't have a lick of a chance to win, and they wasn't gonna let them win. Let's call that what it is. They wasn't gonna let them win. The thing is, when it comes to gambling, and when it comes to gambling schemes, it's not set up. The casino is a gambling scheme. Like, call that what it is. Those things are rigged. You know what I mean? You don't make money if you have a casino. You don't make money by just giving money to people. No, you make money by people giving you money. You know what I'm saying? And they occasionally win. You know what I mean? Occasionally win. You know, just common sense. That is common sense. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure the euphoric feel of winning, you know what I mean, as far as gambling feels good, and you want to chase that again. It's kind of like the person trying to chase that high again. You know what I mean? And they fall into the rabbit hole of drugs. You trying to chase that high. Same thing when it comes to money. Same thing. You know what I mean? You win big, you trying to win big again. You think you could do it again. Not understanding the whole, you know what I mean? Not realizing the hole you diving in when it comes to gambling. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, there's, like, for instance, alcohol. You know, you had bootleggers back in the day, big business. Everyone drinks alcohol for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Everyone drinks alcohol for the most part. And when people battle depression, or when people are depressed or anything like that, you know, the first thing they run to is the bottle. You know what I mean? That's the first thing they run to is the bottle. You know what I mean? That's why the bootleggers was getting, you know, it was big back then, you know, bootlegging. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's flat out. You know, I remember I was going to work for a liquor company driving, and he told me straight up, like, hey, the holidays is when we really booming, because, you know, a lot of people get depressed around you know, Christmas and Thanksgiving because they don't have family or no money. So the first thing they do is like drink themselves. You know what I mean? They drink themselves into oblivion because, you know what I mean, they depressed. And that's when we do big business. That's what he told me straight up in the interview. You know what I mean? So, dog, like, I mean, the whole, it's like, the problem is, the thing is, it's surprising due to the fact of who these people, who's associated with this. You wouldn't think they would be. You wouldn't think Chauncey Billups would be associated with the mob. Damon Jones, they say he was allegedly leaking or giving information on the teams of who's playing and who's not and all this type of stuff, which that's been going on for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? That's been going on for a very long time. That's been going for a very long time in all sports. That's like one of the key things when it comes to sports betting. You got a mole in the locker room or somebody that's on the team that's giving, you know, this information to the bettor. That's common knowledge. You know, so I'm not surprised by any of that. Now, the thing is this when it comes to Chauncey, right? Because I'm not seeing it, not saying that this isn't the case. I'm not seeing anything to where he's actually fixing games or manipulating games. Now, they did mention something about tanking. You know what I mean? Which I'm confused by this, because in one sense, I'm not going to say the league encouraged tanking, but they wasn't punishing people for tanking. They've been doing this for years in all sports, tanking. Whenever there's a generational talent that's coming into the draft, dog, like the bottom feeding teams try to lose. This has been going on for years, since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? That they will sit there and intentionally lose to try to get, and it's like everyone knows that that's going on. So, and it's been allowed, it seems. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's against the rules, but it's like they allow it to happen. You know what I mean? Honestly, so it's like the tanking thing, I'm not too worried about because that's what they do, right? And Windhorst said this. The NBA really don't care about him doing no underground poker. Like, they worrying about you spilling out, rotations and all that and manipulating the game, because then that directly affects the NBA. Now, you running or you being associated, running the underground gambling, whatever you doing, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't directly affect the NBA unless you got something to do with fixing games, bro. That's it. I mean, that's why I said what I said. Like, hey, I need to know what you doing for real. You know what I mean? Because if I'm in the office, I need to know, like, hey, how deep are you into this? Are you fixing games? Are you giving out rotations? Are you purposely sitting people? What are you doing? Because if it's something, then you gotta go, right? There's no ifs, ands, buts. You have to go if you was, influencing outcomes of games or trying to. I can't have that. Now, if you running an underground, gambling ring, or if you associated with it, then that's something you got to deal with the feds. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how close we are, and I'm just being real with you. I'm just being real with you, because if that's my man's, like, if me and Chauncey got a real relationship, like, look, dog, as long as you're not fixing these games, I can't stand behind you there. Now, it's messed up what you're doing, but you made a choice to do this as far as being tied in with them and you fixing games. You playing a real dangerous game. You knew what you was doing. So, I'm going to hold you down, and stand behind you when it comes to this. You know what I mean? Right? Even though it's wrong, but you my mans. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just throw you to the side and nothing like that, or give you the boot. I'm not condoning it either, but if you my mans and if you being honest and you not fixing these games and stuff, and you just doing your own little thing on the side, then I'm like, okay, well, I gotta suspend you. You know what I'm saying? Something like, I gotta throw down some line of disciplinary action. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you're not screwing with the integrity of the game, then hey, you got to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the feds, you got to deal with that. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing for you there. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot let that. There's certain no-nos when it comes to an organization. I'm thinking as if I'm in the office. SA, y'all know what that is. The R word, y'all know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Obviously you got to get that stuff investigated, because we know what happens when it comes to situations like that. Sometimes folks tell the truth, sometimes they don't. Let's call that what it is. You know what I mean? Domestic situations, you know what I mean? You got to obviously do investigations there, because sometimes people will tell the truth, sometimes they don't. So you got to do your due diligence there. We can't have that situation going on. You know what I mean? Obviously you can't be deleting people. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You know what I mean? So there's certain things you can't do, you know what I mean? Or you have to get let go, you know what I mean? But you out here you playing a real dangerous game. I would like to know why you doing this. I mean, I need to talk to this brother. Like, why are you doing this? Because, the thing is this. If that's my man's, right? And like I said, I'm being honest with you. I'm just being transparent. If that's my man's and we tight, and if you got financial issues, if you do, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the case, but if you do, or if you got any sort of talk to me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, because I don't want you tied in with that. You know what I'm saying? If this is my friend, I don't want you tied in with that, bro, because anything can happen to you. They said that when them people can't pay up, it get violent. Point blank. They said that on ESPN, man. Which, hey, you don't pay up that milli, that's what's gonna happen. I mean, let's call this what it is. You know what I'm saying? You stepped into that room. You know what I mean? And you betting hundreds of thousands, upwards to $1 million. You know what I mean? You lose. You didn't expect to lose, and now you don't want to pay because you think nah. They want their money. Whether it's a scam or not, they want their money. It's just that simple. You don't know it's a scam. The fact of the matter is you lost, okay? And even if you knew it was a scam, what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? That's pretty much what they thinking here, you know what I mean? So that's why it's not wise to gamble, because, listen, cheating goes on in gambling, period. This isn't the only place that happens, you know what I mean? You got street hustling, you got all kind of stuff that goes on. When you gamble, 9 times out of 10, it's not nothing fair going on with that, you know what I mean? And you really playing a dangerous game, you know what I mean? Doing that, you know what I mean? The safest place to gamble is the casino, you know what I mean? Street, any of that other stuff, underground gambling, gambling on the street, shooting dice, you are playing a dangerous game. And they want their money ASAP. There ain't no waiting, they want their money. And if you don't pay up, you know what I mean? If you don't pay up, may God be with you. You understand? So if I'm in the office and I'm just being transparent, like, hey man, listen, because I would try to give him some help if he has an issue, because no one's perfect. Once again, no one is perfect. And if you fell into the rabbit hole or something, you trying to get out of it, and you trying to go to these lengths to get out of something, and you not saying nothing, look, what you owe, I'm gonna look out, because you got, you know what I mean? You got family, all kind of stuff, man. I don't want to see nothing happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, word up. You know what I mean? If that's my man. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna hit you with this. I'm gonna hit you with this gift. Take that. Pay whatever it is you owe, whatever debt you in. I'm gonna handle it. We gonna take care of that. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're gonna get you some help. Okay. Boom. Now I'm only gonna do it once though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna keep doing it. It's one time. You know what I mean? Now, if you fall back into it again, then I can't help you. But we gonna handle this situation, because at the end of the day, this is all about money. So if you in deep with some cats, it's usually due to money. So therefore, what do you owe? What do you owe? You know what I'm saying? Now, if they was paying him allegedly, I don't think he owes anything, but you don't know what this the thing. You can't believe everything you hear. It's always more to it. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna just tell the public everything. You know what I mean? There's always more to situations like this, and it's always deeper. It's always deeper. Okay? So the thing is this, you know, I would try to get him out of that situation, and usually that requires money. Point blank, period. You know what I mean? And if you're a basketball owner, 9 times out of 10, you're a billionaire. I mean, it's what it is. So I'm like, let me get on the phone with these people that set this up. Let's get you out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pay whatever I got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not about to sit there and pretend like, you know, I'm I'm Gandhi or something. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to get my mans out of that situation. Like, oh, bro, you tied in with who? Nah, let's get you up out of that, dog. Because there's only 2 ways this going to end on some real stuff. There's only 2 ways this going to end, and you know what it is already. And you know what it is already. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that see things on the news and watch television, whatever, or internet, they don't know the inner workings of stuff behind the scenes. They just want to be entertained, and they take everything literal. You know what I'm saying? They take everything literal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you have no clue about. You know what I mean? It's a lot of lies that's being told to you that you have no clue about, that you take as facts. And people really be like, just look at the comments. Just look at it. It's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know about. Yeah, it's a lot of things, man. So, you know, I don't take everything as face value. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't. So Looking at this, I know that Chauncey and them, yes, they blasted on the internet because they're the popular face, but it's bigger players involved in this, you know what I mean? And they just the fall guys. Really, they had probably what they're doing is like actually minimal. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know, that's minimal. You know what I'm saying? Well, to what's really going on. They got a minor involvement in some of this stuff. You know what I mean? To be real with you. To be real with you, you know what I mean? Because the stuff Damon Jones allegedly was doing, the stuff that's been going on. You know what I mean? That's been going on. That's always been the case. You hear about this all the time. People, hey, you got the guy saying like, hey man, so and so not playing today, so you know, bet this, that, and the third, blah 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 blah. You got players that you know what I mean? They got people that call in, like, hey, what's happening? Who playing tonight? You know what I'm saying? And they give out information on the low, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So this is common knowledge. You can look at sports and tell when the fix is in. When you can tell when the fix is in. You know what I'm saying? There's games I done turned off because it's like, man, the fix it. I'm not watching this. You know what I'm saying? You could just tell. You know what I mean? If you know what you're looking for, you can tell. And a lot of people want to believe that, you know what I'm saying? And it's true. Now, when it comes to what Charles Barkley said about you can't fix basketball games, that's true, but then again, you can influence the game. I'm not gonna say you can't directly fix the game. You can influence the outcome of the game, right? So, because you gotta have everybody in order to fix a game. Everybody has to be on board and involved in this. Everybody's never involved. You got too many different players for everybody to be involved. All right. You know what I'm saying? You got too many people trying to get theirs to be involved. You know what I mean? You may have this one person that's trying to do this and the other person like, man, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, they trying to do anything and somebody else is going against that. You know what I mean? So these are the things that happen. So yeah, you can have a major player trying to influence it. Like you may have a referee trying to influence it. Like, let's say, for example, let's put that example. You got one referee making all these bad, terrible calls. You know what I'm saying? But then the other referees didn't really own that. You know what I mean? So this one referee can try to sway it. Now it's up on the players of how well they're playing in order to go to kind of nerf that. You know what I mean? So you can influence a game. You can't directly fix it, but you can influence it, and then it's 50-50 it works. You know what I'm saying? It's 50-50 it works. Actually, it's probably 60-40 that it works. You know what I mean? So you can still win against the fix, but it's difficult. You know what I mean? You can still win against the fix, but it's difficult. You hear players saying this all the time. Oh yeah, they got this referee coming in because they want to influence. They want to influence this outcome here. You know what I mean? So if you do your research and know what it is, then I mean, this is old news. It's just unveiling the cover publicly. That's all they doing, unveiling it publicly, and that's not nothing the NBA wants. They don't want that, you know what I mean? Because all these leagues be on that trash. They don't want certain teams in the finals. We know that, you know what I mean? They do not want certain teams in the finals, man. You know what I'm saying? They want, you know, the big markets in the finals. That's common knowledge, common sense. You know what I mean? Because most people not gonna watch. If you got the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals versus the Nuggets, anybody watching that? Probably not. Just the locals. They gonna watch it. You know what I mean? I remember when the Pistons and the Spurs in the finals, one of the lower watched finals. You know what I mean? Like when the Raptors was in the finals. Well, how was that a highly watched finals? I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the Raptors. But when you got the Lakers in the finals, oh, absolutely. Celtics, absolutely. Lord behold, if the Knicks go to the finals, oh my God, the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Like you got big markets that they want in the final because that brings in a lot of money. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We've heard all kinds of stories about the NFL, man. We're not even going to play these games. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stories about the NFL. Baseball, come on, fam. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Littered with cheating. Now, I can't sit there and tell you about hockey because I don't watch hockey like that at all. So I don't know what goes on behind the scenes in hockey, but Anything, listen, what people gotta understand, anything with billions of dollars in it, there's nothing legit about it, really. You know what I'm saying? It's always funny business behind the scenes, man. Like, it's too much money being played with. You know, boxing is one of the most corrupt sports, period, dog. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the most corrupt sports. You know what I mean? You got judges, like, come on, dog. Like, it's clear it's one of the most. Now boxing, they just right in your face with it. You can visually see somebody want to fight, then the judge will say, oh, man, one of the judges will be like, oh, yeah, that was a draw. Man, how was that? How the F was that a draw? How? You hear things like in boxing, like, oh, yeah, you know, you got to knock him out to win. You're not going to just be able to get a decision. They tell you this dead in your face, dog. Like, they tell you this directly in your face that, yeah, you're going to get cheated if you don't put him to sleep. If you don't put him to sleep, it's going to be a draw. Or you're going to lose by 1 point. These are things that said, man. Like, so you think that this stuff don't happen in the NBA? You got to be naive to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be naive to believe that. You know what I mean? It's too much money involved. They in the bed with gambling companies. Come on, son. Like, man, cut it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's once money start getting involved in things, it get ugly. You know what I mean? It get ugly. And you know, people got to open their eyes to that because, you know, and I get it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's more comfortable being unaware of things. Sometimes it's more comfortable being unaware of things. It's just like a kid. They not aware of, like, remember when you was a kid and your whole focus was, oh, I just want to go outside and hang with my friends, man, and do you didn't have the issues of worrying about bills being paid, this, that, and the third. Your whole day-to-day was just hanging out with your friends, and that was your day-to-day. The little dramas you had was nothing. You know what I mean? That was your day-to-day. Even in high school, oh, man, you know, the little stupid things you complain about in high school wasn't nothing that adulthood had to go with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of when you open your eyes and realize all the things around you, all the corruption around you that you actually see and you hip to now, it's like, damn, dog, like, there ain't nothing real. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing real here. You know what I mean? And I'm just being real with you. You watch things on TV, you being lied to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. You get straight getting lied to. You know what I mean? You know, people are frauds. You know what I mean? Like, it's, dog, look, this thing go deep. I'm just telling you, this thing go real deep. So it's like, I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm just surprised of the news or what was happening. It's like, what? That was happening? And they right, it do sound like a movie. You know what I'm saying? It literally sound like a literal movie. It sound like a movie plot. You know what I'm saying? It does, but these are the things that go on. You gotta understand, in movies, they tell you the truth. They tell you things in movies. You know what I mean? Where do you think they got this stuff from? Now, you may get exaggerated things. You may exaggerate it for entertainment, but where do you think they come up with this stuff from? You think they just come out thin air with it? You know what I mean? They just come out thin air with it? No. You know what I mean? So, all this stuff is alleged, though, but you know what it is. I mean, it's alleged, but you know what's up, though. You know what I mean? Like, you watch sports, you got to think about it. When you say, oh, man, the referee's going to be, what you think that is? That's corruption. You know what I'm saying? When you watch the Chiefs, and you be like, man, the referees, that's corruption. Home court advantage is corruption. You know what I'm saying? Like, even something small like that. Why is there a home court advantage besides the crowd? Why is it that, oh, you would have got that call at home? Why would I got this call at home? Why can't I just get the call? You know what I'm saying? If you fouled me, why can't it just be a foul? Oh, no, or, well, it's the last 2 minutes. They ain't going to call that. What you mean it's the last 2 minutes? They ain't going to call that. That's a form of messing with the game. That's a form of messing with the game. You mean to tell me you will call this call in the first quarter but won't call it the last 2 minutes of the fourth? That's inconsistent reffing, dog. Like, what do you, I mean, There's so many examples of games being played with, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's been accepted. So when you hear something like this, then everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe that." No, these are the things. This been going on, allegedly. So now all of a sudden that it's in the news, everybody, "Oh my God, I can't believe this." No, you know what I mean, no, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? If you watch a game, you complain about the referees. Now the thing is this, I get it. You know what I mean? Mistakes happen. Mistakes do happen. Sometimes the ref may miss a call. When you got humans out there, that's what happens. You're gonna have human error. All right, but I mean, like, yo, you know when somebody being, man, look, this thing go deep, and it's unfortunate that this got put out here like this, but you know, hey, it is what it is, man. And I'm not even gonna get into the political bag because I don't talk politics. I'm not even about to touch that. But y'all heard, if you know, go look at what Stephen A. Smith said. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even about to even go into that bag because that's not my lane. I don't even like, you know, talking that anyway. But the thing is, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get uglier. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. So I mean, you know, but I don't think that's gonna stop people from watching sports. It's not gonna stop nobody from watching sports. That's not gonna stop nobody from getting on these betting sites and betting. That's not gonna stop nothing at all. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, now what I'm confused about is why Terry Rozier is under investigation, this brother was still playing. That's crazy. How this dude still playing and he under investigation for manipulating games, bro? Like, what are you, there's so much going on with this. It's like, I have so many questions. But the thing is, you can have questions all you want. You're not going to get no answers. You're not going to get the answers you want. And they only going to give you a little bit of information. Now, I'm surprised they gave you all this information. To be honest, the information they gave, I'm surprised they put that out. I'm very surprised they put that out there. I am shocked that they put that out. You know what I mean? But, you know, hey, it is what it is, dog. So, there's going to be more of it to come. But I am surprised that, you know, Chauncey is allegedly tied in with the mob. That's crazy. That's crazy right there. You know what I mean? But like I said, you never know what anybody's tied into, what they wrapped into. You don't know what type of problems they have behind the scenes, man. It is what it is, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. Really appreciate it from everybody. Peace.